Hi, and welcome to me making more off the top of my head comments while watching this very long APTERA June 2024 investor webinar. No commentary from APTERA Owners Club. Thanks to them for the source material. I did nearly half an hour of this, if you can look at this stage of the webinar, nearly half an hour, and ended up making 3 troll videos. I don't know whether I'll be able to get through the whole remaining 1 hour and 19 minutes, but I'll give it a shot. And I don't know how many more troll videos I can cut it up into. But in either case, I've been buoyed by the comments in the 2 videos that I've uploaded. I'm halfway through tidying up the 3rd video, but I'm taking the opportunity to make comments while my wife is out of the house and there's less noises around. Just the external ones like the crows and the aeroplanes and stuff like that I hope you don't get to hear too much. So I'll just remember to make it full screen now because I'm doing it differently in OBS to begin with. Okay, I've made it full screen, so now I'll play from where we left off and make comments. I won't be comprehensive, but I'll probably rant and rave on the few things I think of off the top of my head.
We're currently building our PI vehicles, so our production intent vehicles. We're receiving parts and ordering parts right now.
Okay, currently building a PI vehicle. That's the one behind him. Now, it was about April Fool's Day when they got it. Think about how long ago that was. How many weeks have gone by? They said they got that body so that they could, first and foremost, check that the wiring looms from Yazaki would fit into the places that the body has been designed to accept the looms. Well, as far as we can tell, they have yet to finish that. And they've yet to finish it because I don't think they even have one loom from Yazaki as yet, or even if they are a strategic partner anymore. Things are looking grim. But after the looms, they were also supposed to see that other things fit in the cabin. There was supposed to be no wheels, not much of anything else, other than checking to see what went into the cabin. And to date, we have not seen in that cabin to see what they've done. They say they are currently building it, but they're not. They've received it, and they've, for all intents and purposes, let it sit there for at least 9 weeks.
Um, hold on. We have most of the major systems on order. Some of the systems we have in-house, so they're a little easier to know when they're going to get here. Obviously, solar panels and battery is under our control. So, we're seeing those parts coming together now. A lot of those systems were kind of released at the end of last month, and now we're just building those up. The battery module just finished its shaker table testing. I won't save the results because Chris is going to do a video, but all positive information.
It's very clear that they're just going, we're hoping to get parts. And this means that they can't do any PI builds. If they don't have the parts, they can't do the building. It's that simple. It's pathetic that they're trying to pass this off as getting somewhere. The message is clear. They're getting nowhere.
Our solar panels are being made here by Reed and his team, and we have a stock ready to be put on vehicles once they start to get ready here. We've got the binks coming from Italy. That's the easy part, but a lot of the big metal parts they were just released a few weeks ago, so we're still working with suppliers on getting a lot of the big die cast for the suspension, the frame, all that stuff has yet to come. But we did engage a supplier, I think, yesterday, and the lead time is not that long. So we expect to start seeing chassis parts here by the end of the month or early next month. The electrical team is doing an amazing job finishing up the wiring harness and getting...
It's come to my mind that if these binks are coming completed this time, and I think in seeing this video through the first time, somewhere he says that they are coming completed rather than stacked in their little pieces. If they come completed, how does Carlsbad put in the roll cage and even the massive frame that is supposed to hold everything together? I would think that the roll cage and the frame must come first, and then the pieces are assembled around those large objects. They can slip in batteries and other things. They can slip in the seats and you name it. There are many things that they can slip in after the body pieces are put together. But I just can't see them putting in a roll cage and that big frame. They must come first. Now, they've got a video that shows the stages of assembly in Carlsbad, and that video doesn't even allow for a roll bar to go inside it or the frame itself, as far as I know. It just seems so Mickey Mouse and incorrect.
Getting all the connectors and bits ready. We got a Bink here from Italy to finish the pathing for all that stuff, where the pass-throughs are in the body to other pieces and parts. There's a little more of that to do once we receive the chassis and all the big metal bits. You would think that in the computer you could spin stuff around and see exactly how stuff fits and passes through other things and does interference stuff, but some of the stuff still has to be done in the real world, so you just have to wait until you get the actual part here and then make the final adjustments once you have the parts to actually put the pieces on. Our initial production ramp, we're sitting here in our beautiful almost 80,000 square foot facility here in Southern California. This is where the first APTERA will roll off the assembly line into your and other people's hands. This facility is capable of about 20,000 vehicles a year. Every shift can produce about 10,000 a year, so with 2 shifts we can do about 20,000 vehicles a year. But this facility, was amazingly optimized by Sandy Monroe and his team. We've got great partners in robotics and filling stations and the battery pack automation from CTNS in Korea, and Bent River for some of the solar equipment, how we're making those pieces and parts. This is where we've come from. This is where we're going. So, the last few years have been prototyping and development and zeroing in on what the production version of the vehicle should be. Really, the end of last year was the design is frozen. Now, how do we build this production vehicle? Now we're through this webinar and our other efforts with U.S. Capital, gathering the funds to actually start production. And if we can do that through this year, then in 2025 we'll start handing people the keys to their APTERA. We expect that the initial ramp will take a little while, so commissioning the lines and then ramping up the facility will probably take 3 to 6 months, and then we'll be at full production. So we hope to deliver about 5,000 units by the end of 2025, and we hope to in 2026 be able to deliver about 20,000 units. Some of this could be accelerated if things go really well, if we're able to close out this crowdfunding strong, if we're able to, with U.S. Capital, gather funds quickly. We can look into other funding options after that to accelerate our timeline. But this is our current plan. This is how we've laid it out. And this is what we talked about earlier when we talked about the $65 million that we need this year. That plan gets us these amount of deliveries, and hopefully makes a lot of people happy. I think we'll become a much more interesting company once you see retail APTERA out driving in the real world and people enjoying them and telling their friends how solar mobility has changed their lives. And I think it's a totally different world for us once we really start to see the APTERA on the road.
Do I really need to say anything? Isn't it pretty clear by now that he can't predict when he's going to hand over a production-built APTERA to a customer? He's done it enough times already for us to know that he can't make a prediction to save himself. That was all flowery talk, but extremely meaningless. This is the snake oil that I've been mentioning for at least 2 years now. Why can't people see snake oil when they have had so much of it?
Our customers, we have an amazing customer and fan base. Most of them are in the U.S., some of them are in Europe, a little bit in Canada. We have an amazing cross-section across just the U.S., but mostly in California, Florida, Texas, so the Smile States, where people get a lot of sun, which is where the APTERA will perform amazingly too.
The slides are getting even fancier, and this is what fools the gullible. But the heading says it all. Our customers. They don't have a single customer. They have some clowns who invest money in them. They're not customers, they're investors. and they have 47,000 pre-orders. These pre-orders don't make a customer of them at all. It's like a shop, and it has so many people walk through the shop. They might even try on some clothing if it's a clothing store. And the shop's saying that they're all their customers. They're not. Their customers are the ones that take something out of the shop after paying for it. Then that's a customer. And so they are loose with the term customers. There are no customers. It's that simple. They don't have a single customer yet.
By gender, we have many more male people that love APTERA, but we are hopefully getting to spread our story and get a lot more female engagement over time. I think that the first couple years of our existence, we were really only noted in tech publications and people that were interested in science. Most of those readers are male. So as we get closer to production and we get more mainstream coverage, I think we'll get more female, more younger audience people engaged with us.
He shouldn't be talking about more when he has none at the moment. And I mean none. Of these 47,000, well, the Cretin's just made a video and he covers this situation in his first video. And there's plenty in that to indicate that for about the past year, they've hardly had any pre-orders. That's not more customers, that's just more pre-orders. But in either case, the uptake of pre-orders has almost ground to a halt, especially in comparison to the first 2 years. But Chris isn't telling you this because he's a snake oil salesman and everything is rosy as far as he's concerned. But in the background, in reality, when you examine what is exactly going on, it's not that rosy. They are advertising profusely. They're spending money on advertising and hardly getting any pre-orders, and in particular, hardly getting any more investments out of the advertising they do. This is a last-ditch effort to squeeze as much as they can, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough for them to get close to achieving their goals. It, to me, right now, appears as though they are in the death throes.
This is how we plan to roll out. This is kind of our heat map of where all our orders are. Obviously, you can see hot in Texas and Florida and California. But we have this amazing accelerator program where we have 2,000 people taking delivery of the APTERA in California. Those will be the first deliveries. Hopefully those will be able to spread the APTERA not just around America, but around the world. It gets us a lot of amazing.
This is supposed to show Phase 1 states and Phase 2 states, but I can only see blobs that all appear to be in one phase. I don't understand it. If I were making a map of a rollout plan, I would have had one colour for Phase 1 states and have the text in that colour, and then another colour for Phase 2 states and have the text in the other colour. Then I would be able to understand it, but at this particular point I can't understand that at all. Again, this sort of stuff is Mickey Mouse, inept background preparation. That's all for me. Bye for now. Stay safe.